Hey guys, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk My Hero Academia chapter 146. Now guys, I'm just gonna tell you just straight up, I don't think this is the most exciting chapter. I'm not so thrilled about this chapter. I think it's pretty slow. I think the pacing's just whatever. I think it's slow. I think a lot of parts it's just unnecessary information. And yeah, like the chapter is titled Temporary Transfers, and I think that's pretty funny considering that the temporary transfers are only there for the last page. And so that kind of actually sums up this whole chapter. Like there's nothing that's really worthwhile talking about. There's nothing that's super exciting besides the fact that, oh my god, Twice and Toga are there. And actually like that, even that part I don't think is that incredible. I see like a lot of people are getting super excited that they're there. But at this point, it's like, well, they're working together. I'm actually more surprised that Shigaraki isn't there. But yeah, when you look at the chapter and you look at the pages and you look at how much time we're spending in each page, it becomes a question of did we have to spend that many pages, like say on the Rappa and the Fat Gum dialogue? Did we have to spend that many pages? And when you look at it, it's like, well, a lot of the pages are just like some pages are just kind of reiterating the same point, giving more credence to Kirishima being a man and the flashback to justify why Fat Gum took an interest in him, and then the thing with Rappa, just him being an interesting character overall, and we're just like revolving around those two characters, and then we leave off with Shigasaki at the end. Like this is actually a really informative chapter. It's super informative, but it's unfortunate that we're in a relatively high octane arc, and then all of a sudden these last three chapters with the two flashback chapters, and now this, it's just been a really slow slog, and it's just weird. The pacing's really off for this little portion of the overall arc. So that's my general critiques for it. I think this isn't done well. I don't think this is the proper pacing. I think it's just kind of slow. That said, again, it is a relatively informative chapter, and its flaws only really pop out when you consider that we've been waiting weeks for this. I'm sure if it's read in volume format, it'll be a lot better. But just because we're doing week by week, and this has been a relatively slow series of chapters when it should have been relatively exciting, it's a weird kind of feeling. And again, like people I see are getting super excited about Toga and Twice, but it's only one page. I know people are speculating like how crazy it's going to be, but again, it's only one page. That said, talking about one page is one page. The color spread. I absolutely love the color spread. The color spread, I was on it for like 5 minutes. It's so pretty. I love it. I tried to make sure I could find Hagakure. And in case you guys were wondering, Hagakure is right behind Kirishima in that color spread. But man, I love the color spread. I like seeing all the characters. I like seeing all the secondary characters. I like that Fat Gum is right there. He's there in this grouping as well, as long as the Dragon Lady. I'm really happy about this color spread. And there's another thing that makes me really happy is that Suyu is also, I think, a bit more prominent than Ochako in that color spread, and I'm happy about that. But it's pretty cool. Like some characters have a lot more emphasis on them. Those being people like Midoriya, All Might, Gran Torino, Bakugo. Bakugo has a lot of emphasis, and that's a pretty interesting way of trying to establish that Bakugo is still relatively important, while Todoroki is a bit hidden away. So it's pretty interesting to see which characters just really pop out in this color spread. And really the ultimate thing is Deku and Bakugo. Those two are probably the most prominent ones because they're the only ones that are not obscured. Actually, that's a lie. The ones who aren't obscured are Deku, Bakugo, and Suyu. Everyone else is relatively obscured by another character. So, I really love the color spread. The coloring seems a little bit different. It seems like a different style of coloring, but I still love that color spread. Okay, and now let's actually talk about the chapter and not me ranting about it anymore. The chapter gives us the information. It's largely praising Kirishima. So we're continuing the Kirishima praise train. Just like, oh, Kirishima, you're such a man that even your enemy has acknowledged you. And it's like, yeah, okay, I get it. It's pretty awesome. Like Kirishima had a pretty awesome thing. But really in that whole sequence, Rappa is the one that is really the one worthy of praise, because the character, He's the character who specifically likes fighting. He doesn't revolve his logic around good or bad or tactics. He revolves his logic around, I want to fight, I want to fight, I want to fight. So we end up having the situation where now Fat Gum can heal up Kirishima. So we go into that lull and we're fixing him up. We have the funny little banter between Rappa and the barrier guy. He's keeping the barrier guy down. The barrier guy's tied up. Pretty funny. Again, Rappa is a pretty interesting guy to talk to. Okay, that's pretty cool. And one of the things that was really important, I'm really happy that Fat Gum is such an interesting character. He is able to figure that out. Fat Gum notices it, or makes note of the fact that Shizaki was strong enough or fast enough to deal with a brawler enough to be able to touch him and activate his quirk. So I really like that little distinction because that sets up that this guy is dangerous. And then as we go along with the chapter, we meet up with Shizaki again. We know what he wants to do because of Rappa. We see that he still cares a lot about his Yakuza boss and that he's the one that's really going after that guy's wishes. And he's making those distinctions between him and his contemporaries in the gang. And as we're going through that, it's ultimately the chapter is exposition for Shizaki. Man, am I saying the right name? That name feels wrong. Anyway, exposition for him and just informing us that this guy has plans. Overhaul has plans. And then we leave off with the temporary transfers. Like overall, it's a very simple chapter. And the only thing that's really making it is like the characters who are interacting in the chapter. By the end of the day, it's largely a breather chapter, and it's being allowed because of one character's interesting personality quirks. Ultimately though, I don't want to take away from Kirishima. He did something pretty awesome and he has the respect of a pretty crazy guy. Like, yeah, that's cool. And Shizaki is dangerous. Overhaul is dangerous, but we already know that. And Toga and Twice are probably going to cause trouble once we clear out the rest of the remaining the 13 guys that are like the guys that were unleashed in this hallway. We'll have to see. So next week, who knows what we're gonna get? I don't know. I know that the week after that we have a double issue, so that means we're gonna be having a break in 2 chapters. So we'll have to see what happens. Overall, guys, though, I'm sorry if I sound a little bit too negative for this chapter. It's just, well, objectively, it's a pretty slow chapter, and it's just whatever. That said, I still think it's a good chapter. I just didn't find it that exciting. Anyways, guys, let me know what you thought down below of the chapter. Let me know if you think I missed something that's a pretty big detail. And yeah, till next time, I hope you have a great day.